Hello and welcome guys to your own podcast show, The Karan Sharma Show. Today in this episode I will gonna talk about how we can take help and use the various resources available online and present our fullest potential in a better format through launching or providing your products and services in the market available, or in other words through the medium of entrepreneurship, which will eventually help you and other ones like you who aspire to do something great but get backstepped due to fear of what society will say. So let's get started. Before I start, I wanted to clarify that this podcast information is able to present you before through taking help of a step-by-step guide by Entrepreneur magazines available online as a PDF version. This podcast is neither made for the endorsement nor take advantage, but is used as a medium of spreading the knowledge to young listeners. A business plan is a written description of a business future. That's all there is to it. It's a document that tells you plan to do and how to plan to do it. If you jot down a paragraph on the back of an envelope describing your business strategy, you have written a plan, or at least the germ of a plan. Business plans can help perform a number of tasks for those who write and read them. Investment-seeking entrepreneurs use them to convey their vision to potential investors. Business plans may also be used by firms that are trying to attract key employees, prospect for new businesses, deal with suppliers, or simply understand how to manage their companies better. Having said that, there are some generally accepted conventions about what a fully blown business plan should include and how it should be presented. And if you follow these conventions, you are going to need an awfully big envelope to fit it and all on the back. Basically, however, a plan should cover all the important matters that will contribute to making your business a success. These generally include the following points. Point number 1, your basic business concept. This is where you discuss the industry, your business structure, your particular product or service, and how you plan to make your business a success. Point number 2, your strategy and specific actions you plan to take it to implement it. Describe and analyze potential customers, who and where they are, and what makes them buy, and so on. Point number 3, your product and services and their competitive advantages. Here is your chance to dazzle them with good, solid information about your products or services and why customers will want to purchase yours and not your competitors. Point number 4, the market you will pursue. Now you have to lay out what your marketing plan is, keeping it simple, short, and to the point. Point number 5, the background of your management and key employees. Having information about key personnel is an important but often overlooked portion of a good business plan. Point number 6, your financing needs. Spell it out in simple terms that everyone can understand. Don't cut corners, hoping you will be able to get other financing at last minute from other sources. Ask for what you will need to be successful. You will express most of this information in words, in plain English, and the plainer is the better. There are almost certainly will be a lot of numbers in budgets and other financial reports. Tables, graphs, drawings, and photographs are not uncommon. A few plans include actual product samples. But what else is in a good business plan? Hopes certainly are there, dreams. Dreams probably. Quite possibly there is passion, but it's worth nothing now that none of these essential motivators will have a high profile in your business plan. They have to be there for you to succeed in a business. To be sure, but few, if any of the people who are likely to read it are interested in your private emotions about your business. A business plan is a place to stick to facts instead of feelings, projections, instead of hopes, and realistic expectations of profit instead of passion. Keeping this in mind while writing your plan, and you have a better chance of injecting it with perhaps the most important component of all is credibility. So who needs a business plan? About the only person who doesn't need a business plan is one who's not going into business. You don't need a plan to start a hobby or to moonlight from your regular job. But anybody beginning or extending a venture that will consume significant resources of money, energy, or time, and that is expected to return a profit, should take the time to draft some kind of a plan. To explain you better, here there are some of the examples from the most suitable entrepreneur Bible available on the internet, named as step-by-step startup guides, as one of the most prestigious entrepreneur magazines, which by numbers of years are providing the best of the advices and in-depth knowledge about every aspect of business to every business aspirant. So here's a pure examples up. Example number 1. When 6 Stanford University students started calling on venture capitalists looking for money to fund an internet startup called Architect, they had only a rough outline for a company that would help people find information on the internet. Yet the 6 were able to convince seasoned Silicon Valley ventures capitalists that the ideas were sound. So sound, in fact, that the co-founder Joe Cross reports he raised our first $3 million without a written business plan. Cross company went on to be renamed as Excite Incorporation or Excite Inc. And to become one of the most successful of all internet startups, Excite garnered more financing and went public in 1996, raising $34 million and making instant millionaires out of 6 co-founders. This experience shows that there is an exception to every rule, and also that if your idea is strong enough, you don't need a lot of complicated spreadsheets and market analysis to start your company. However, we can't stress enough, you do need some sort of business plan. Example number 2. Business plans don't have to be complicated, lengthy documents. They just have to be capture the essence of what the business will do and why it will be success. The business plan for one of the most successful startups ever began with a triangle scroll on a cocktail napkin is this. The year was 1971. Herb Kelleher and Roland King were formulating the idea for an airline serving Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. The triangle connecting the cities was their route map and the basis of the business plan for Southwest Airlines. The two entrepreneurs soon expressed their vision for Southwest more fully in a full-fledged business plan and raised millions in startup capital to get off the ground. Eventually, they went public. Along the way, the airline expanded beyond the 3 cities to include other Texas destinations, and today flies coast to coast at Southwest now serves 58 cities in 30 states and 2,700 flights daily and revenues of $5.9 billion. It's the nation's 4th largest airline that specializes in low-cost, no-frills, high-frequency services, which if you add some lines to that original triangle, is the same strategy mapped out on cocktail napkin in the United States of America. Example number 3. Jay Valentine doesn't like business plans, doesn't believe in them, and doesn't write them to startup. He's involved in It's ridiculous for startups to make these plans and projections. Jay Valentine says, Valentine prefers to wait until he is confirmed with a number of customers and booked a few sales. Then he knows how he will sell his product and what revenues are like to be. But as CEO of Infoglide Incorporation or Infoglide Inc., a database technology startup, Valentine was responsible for coming up with a plan that would please the venture capitalist. Infoglide was serving $1 million to bring the technology to the market. So he wrote one that it was maybe 15 pages, says Valentine, just me writing about the company and what we were trying to do. That wouldn't please number-crunching venture capitalist, Valentine knew. So he hired a consultant to prepare a 5-year financial forecast. Then he sent in it, sight unseen, that he said, I never even looked at the financials. But it was thick, and that's what the revenue capitalists like to see. Crazy. Maybe the pumped out plan landed $3 million for a big venture capital firm. So that was all, just an updated podcast about business planning. Rate me if you like the concept. More in this series are yet to come. Hope you all get motivated and inspired after listening this podcast episode of mine. Provide your valuable suggestions at karankumbriya222@gmail.com. Follow me at Instagram by karankumbriya20. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you for listening.